Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation designed specifically for healthcare workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. My name is Corinne Bart. I'm a psychotherapist at the Jefferson Center City Clinic for Behavioral Medicine under the supervision of Dr. Virginia O'Hare. Today I'll be talking about self-compassion. The learning objectives for today are to understand what self-compassion is and why it is beneficial to your well-being, why it is important particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic, and how to go about cultivating self-compassion in your daily life. Self-compassion is the ability to turn kindness, caring, and concern inward towards oneself. Essentially, it is our ability to be gentle with ourselves and to treat ourselves kindly. Self-compassion is also something that is often ignored and difficult to practice. We live in a society that values success and achievement, and so in order to survive in this high-pressure world, we have become very adept at self-criticism. We often beat ourselves up for failures or perceived shortcomings, and this can lead to very painful and dangerous negative self-talk. We may tell ourselves things like, I'm not good enough, or I should have done this better, or why didn't I know to do this instead of that? Oftentimes, when we feel responsible for things that go wrong, blaming ourselves seems like the only natural choice. All of these negative thoughts take a toll on our mental health and well-being. And as we are now emerged in an unprecedented global health crisis, this negative self-talk has the potential to reach really extreme levels as you start to face situations that you may have never been faced with before. It is a very scary time with a lot of uncertainty, and it is completely normal to feel afraid and anxious. You may need to navigate really difficult decisions that may test your confidence in yourself as a healthcare provider, such as whether to tend to a COVID-19 patient without PPE because there are no masks left, and whether that means you need to choose whether to put you and your family at risk in order to help save someone else. Or you may need to decide which patient to give the last ventilator to. Or you may be thinking about your role in exposing a coworker, or friend, or neighbor to the virus. This moment in time is very painful, and it's especially important to recognize that though we have to navigate these unfathomable challenges, this doesn't mean that we ourselves are flawed or bad or failing. It just means that this mountain we're trying to climb right now is formidable and perhaps at times insurmountable. And that is why we may need to be extra cognizant of taking a moment to be self-compassionate. I'd like to talk about how to go about practicing self-compassion. The very first step is to be mindful and to notice when we're having that negative self-talk, when we're being extra hard on ourselves. Without being aware that we are suffering due to this inner monologue, we won't be able to address it or make changes. We also want to treat ourselves kindly and gently. We likely all know how to do this with others. I'm sure it's natural for you to feel compassion towards a friend or a coworker or family member who is suffering. Turning that compassion to ourselves may not feel so familiar. Here are some suggestions for how to go about evoking self-compassion. Practice treating yourself and talking to yourself as you would a friend who is suffering or a small child who is in need of comforting. You can visualize self-compassion. For example, it might be like wrapping yourself in a warm, cozy blanket. You might focus on what self-compassion feels like. Maybe imagine your body filling up with warmth. It's important to also recognize that suffering is a shared human experience and that you are not alone. Surround yourself with a supportive community and experience connectedness with others. And last, allow yourself to take a step back and recognize that this current moment is hard and it is challenging, and you may not have all the answers for every problem that arises. Allow yourself the time to adopt a warm and kind perspective towards yourself. Another way to evoke self-compassion is through guided meditation. And for the last part of the presentation, I'd like to invite you to join me in a short loving kindness meditation. So to begin, allow yourself to get into a comfortable position, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your eyes, releasing any tension you feel in your body. Gently close your eyes and notice your breath. Bring your attention to your breathing. Where in your body do you notice your breath? Maybe in the rise and fall of your stomach, or the rise and fall of your chest. Perhaps you feel it in the back of your throat, or as the air comes and goes out your nostrils. Take a few moments to just be here in this present moment with your breath. Now I'd like to begin cultivating loving kindness. Start by connecting to your basic goodness. You might remember times when you were generous or compassionate or kind. If generating this loving kindness yourself is difficult to access, you may want to think about a person who loves you unconditionally. What does that person love about you? You might think about how it feels to be unconditionally loved by a pet. Or you may have to go back and picture yourself as a very young, innocent child. See how that image generates kindness within. Once you've taken some time to generate this loving kindness, notice what it feels like in your body. Does it feel warm, tingly? Do you feel blood rushing to your cheeks? Perhaps it's just a feeling of calm and contentedness. Now we'll start to extend words of loving kindness towards ourselves. Offer these words to yourself in your mind. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful. May I feel connected and calm. May I be happy and safe. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful. May I feel connected and calm. May I be happy and safe. As we sit with the energy of the loving kindness we're creating, let's start to extend this loving kindness out to someone you love, someone you're concerned about, someone you hold close to your heart. And as you picture this person, offer these words of loving kindness to them in your mind. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be peaceful. May you feel connected and calm. May you be happy and safe. And now, as we bring this meditation to a close, may you hold on to this feeling of loving kindness that you generated here throughout your day. I'm hoping you found this info about self-compassion helpful. If you're interested in learning more about self-compassion and different ways that you can practice generating this yourself, here are some helpful links, also links to some more guided meditations. And to end, we also offer other additional resources on mental health and how to cope amidst this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for your attention today, and be well.